feel uncertain about what kind of lasting impact you're going to make on this world? Well, you might be surprised, just as Howard Hill would be. Howard Hill was acclaimed only once in his life. When he was a small boy, he sang for Queen Victoria at Buckingham Palace. But shortly after that, his voice changed. So that was the end of his singing career. And yet, still a boy, he began to demonstrate a degree of artistic skill. After a while, he was supporting himself as a portrait painter. Howard promised himself that as soon as he could scrape enough money together, he would leave England, travel to the United States, and seek his fortune. And when the Civil War was over, Howard did travel to the United States and made his home in New York, Yonkers to be exact. Howard aspired to open a studio, specializing in portraits and landscapes. However, his dream was abruptly curtailed. As time passed, he found himself the father of 12. Apparently, there was something he was good at. The responsibility of feeding a large family prevented him from saving enough money to open his studio. So Howard stayed at the bottom of the artistic totem pole. He learned that the animal portraits were popular. So he went door to door asking each resident if they wanted their favorite household pet to be painted. Occasionally, someone requested a portrait of the dog in the family. Wealthy farmers were inclined to have their prize-winning cows or pigs immortalized on canvas. Now, Howard painted those animals in great detail that became his trademark. For a dog or cat, each hair was meticulously represented, tiny highlights in the eyes, everything was immaculately clear. During his low season, animal portraits weren't particularly in demand, so Howard became a house painter. Yes, this uniquely talented portrait painter painted the exteriors of people's homes. Leaving his own house those mornings, he attempted to salvage his pride by telling his wife that he was going to paint a portrait, but she knew better, as they always do. And in time, the harsh reality of his failure as an artist became too much to bear. So disillusioned and disappointed by his lack of recognition, he became an alcoholic. Howard Hill died believing his life amounted to nothing. But he was not quite the failure that he considered himself to be. His style of painting, especially his meticulous attention to detail, would inspire somebody else to artistry, and his style would live on through another. It was a little boy, so moved by what the rest of the world had taken for granted, it was Howard's grandson. You see, Howard Hill, the English portrait and landscape painter who brought his big dreams to the New World, only to watch them fade and die, well, while he didn't live on to see the spark of his work catch fire in his daughter's son, the wide-eyed boy so admired his grandfather's lifelike artistic detail, spent his own prolific lifetime imitating it. That boy, the grandson of Howard Hill, was Norman Rockwell, one of the most famous artists in American history. Norman illustrated the cover of the Saturday Evening Post for 5 decades, producing more than 4,000 original works in his lifetime, including 40 books like Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, and the portraits of Presidents Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon. So, what lessons can we draw from this story? I think a few. Number one, legacy can be unforeseen. Perhaps the most profound lesson is that success and influence are not always recognized within one's lifetime. Howard Hill's meticulous style influenced his grandson, Norman Rockwell, a celebrated American painter known for his eye for detail, much like his grandfather. This underscores the idea that one's influence can be extended far beyond their apparent successes and be a legacy that inspires future generations. Number two, success can be intangible. The ultimate impact of Howard's life was not in the wealth accumulated or fame achieved, but rather in the intangible transmission of artistic passion and detail to Norman. Success, therefore, may be measured not just in tangible achievements, but in subtle, profound influences on others around us. Number three, hidden impacts are still impacts. Lastly, Howard Hill's story teaches us that one's impact on the world isn't always loud or celebrated. Often, it is the quiet persistence and unseen ripples that leave a lasting legacy. So now, you tell us, is there someone in your life who has significantly influenced you and your success, yet they might not feel or felt like their own life was successful or significant? Share that with us in the comments below.